Hello, everyone. Welcome to an exclusive interview with Austin Brooks. Austin is a 7-0, contender in the super featherweight division, right?
Yep.
And really looking forward to this fighter's rise. I've heard a lot about him, so when I got the opportunity to sit down with him, I was very pleased to. So, Austin, first, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Thank you.
Good man. And I believe I know you did. I recently just come off a win, in your last. It was last on Saturday, wasn't it?
It
Um,
was last Friday.
Last Friday, sorry. Yep, last Friday. Tell me about that, man. How did that go? How was prep for that fight? How did everything go leading up to the fight?
It was good. A few things I wish I would have gotten more of, but it was good going into the camp. Going into the fight, felt good. Was ready to go. First two rounds was good, and then I felt like I kind of dropped off the last two rounds. So I'm just looking to come back off of that and just perform a little bit better this next time out. I'm supposed to be competing hopefully August
20th,
20th
August 20th.
in
Yeah.
San Diego. Yeah, here in San Diego. It's not for sure yet, but I'm hoping I get on that card.
Is that a top rank card again?
Yeah, it'll be top rank.
Good, good. That's amazing. So you said that you slacked off in the second round. You sort of had two good rounds and then you sort of slacked off. Why do you reckon that was?
Um, maybe it could be a combination of things. Maybe maybe the the weight 126. Maybe I'll go to 130. I make the weight easy, but my coach mentioned most of my fights at 26, I kind of maybe dropped off in the later rounds, got a little bit more tired compared to my fights at 130, which is true. But I think it could be, this last fight I didn't have as much sparring as I like. Uh, I had a bit of a little injury, but it's no excuse. Like I just didn't have, I felt like enough sparring maybe, and a few areas I slacked off in training. Maybe I could have put a little bit more effort into. There's always things to improve. Every time in
Hmm.
training, you just go a little bit harder. I feel every fight. You felt like you went your hardest you've ever gone your last fight, and then leading, your next fight, you go even harder. So I just felt like it was a learning experience for me, and I'm gonna grow. And
You're only 7 fights in, right? You're learning
yeah,
on the game, I take it, learning the trade. And I believe you only had 20 amateur fights as well, right? You don't have many amateur
yeah,
fights in there.
yeah, exactly. I didn't have a big amateur career. I had not that many fights. Only 20 fights. Um, just because I started late, though. I started competing when I was about 18 or so. I think that's when I started competing amateur boxing. But I trained a little bit when I was younger. I did a few classes growing up, but got away from it until I was a teenager, and then I started doing, you know, mixed martial arts again. I started competing in like kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, boxing. But like once I started doing boxing for real, I just fell in love with boxing, and I
Mm.
just stuck with that.
Hey, how come you got involved? So tell me a bit about your background as well, like your younger years. How did you get involved in boxing? What was the process of that? What made you turn to these sort of sports? Because I noticed you said quite a bit of Muay Thai. You said a lot of physical sports. What made you get into those sort of sports?
Yeah, I even wrestled when I was in like middle school and stuff like that. But I didn't. I always, I kind of, I always got into scraps and stuff when I was a kid. I always got into fights, and just seemed like something I was always getting into. Just growing up. I don't know why, but that was just kind of what I like to do. And I didn't really think about doing it too much, honestly, because I was into other things at the time. I was into like skateboarding. I was really into skateboarding growing up, so
Yeah.
really was
Any good?
like I was pretty good at it. I was pretty good at
It's an
skateboarding.
Olympic sport now,
I,
man. You need to get back into there.
I know, nah, it's for me now, nah. It's so dangerous now that I look at it, I get on there and I hurt myself, but I can still skate. I can still do a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's so technical now. Like what people are doing now, I can never keep up with that.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I saw it at the Olympics. These young 12, 13-year-olds winning Olympic gold medals in skateboarding. They were doing crazy stuff of these single things. So fair
Yeah,
play to
yeah.
them.
I couldn't even keep up with the kids right now, so there's no way.
You got bigger plans
But
ahead, right? You got other plans.
yeah, yeah, I like boxing.
Yeah, man. So what made you sort of move away from skateboarding? Was it that you found a passion for boxing? Was it
Yeah, it was just my lifestyle, like for skateboarding. I started getting into like just trouble and stuff when I was a teenager. Like I stopped skateboarding and was getting into trouble. And then just to kind of get myself out of it, I started training. I started doing uh boxing, I started training boxing and it got me out of trouble.
why
And
were you getting in trouble in the first place? What was it that led you to this trouble? Was it the surrounding that you were hanging around with, the people? Was it
yeah,
something else?
for
What was
sure.
it that led to that?
For sure. It was people I was around, my surroundings and uh just my mentality at the time. I was young, stupid, wasn't for sure my surroundings have played a big part. And then I just started training and met a lot of positive people, a lot of people that helped shape who I am today. My coaches, people from the gym.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, that's really where I just changed. So, kept myself out of trouble, started competing,
Mm.
and yeah, that's where it was.
Who was the first person that saw the talent in you that made you think, if you stick at this, you can do something in this sport?
His name's Vernon Lee. He's at City Boxing in San Diego. That was my first trainer, and he was the first person who probably saw the most potential in me. Really told me I could go places and really take it somewhere. And he took his time with me and trained me, and treated me like his son. And at the time, it was something I really needed. I needed somebody like that.
Hmm. So he sort of guided you. So there's always that story in boxing. That's one thing that boxing is underrated for. If you find a good coach, someone who sees potential, it's not just people who see potential, but you may have someone who's not have some potential, but may have potential in a different field.
Yeah,
In the boxing gyms, you can really mold people into showing a different direction in whatever life they want to take.
yeah.
Boxing was so beneficial for me, and as for yourself as well. Um, and then after that, where did you go after that with the coach? I mean, did you have all your amateur fights with him, or did you go pro
I
after?
had I had most of my amateur fights with him, but it he had his own stuff going on that he wasn't really trying to. He wasn't competing like I needed to, like I wanted to compete. I wanted to be out there and do more fights, go to the nationals, stuff like that. But we both didn't have the funds and he really wasn't putting a lot of effort into it, honestly. But it was I talked to him about it and told him what I wanted to do, that I really wanted to do something with my career. I actually wanted to try to go professional and try to actually do something with myself. And he understood and let me go a different route. And so I went with my coach. His name's Bashir Abdullah over at the arena. I knew him just from throughout the amateurs. We knew each other. I competed against one of his fighters back in the day. I fought one of his guys, so he knew me, and we linked up, and ever since then, he just elevated my career to a whole different level. Changed my you know changed my approach to the fight game more in a more professional way. Improved a lot of areas that I was lacking. Like with my discipline, uh, my conditioning, you know, working a lot of different ranges of the fight, not just long range, working more mid range, close range, stuff that we're still working on. But he helped me in a lot of those areas.
Hmm. And are you still with that coach today?
Yeah, still with him today.
Good man. And then obviously, and now you're 7-0 with him. You got a fight coming up. So only the only way is up for you. And I believe you've been getting good sparring as well. I've been seeing some clips of you sparring Oscar Valdez over in
Uh,
over in the San Diego gym or down there. How's that sparring been?
it's been a blessing, working with the champ. It helped my game a whole lot for sure. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, for sure. It's been real good.
What sort of things have you learned from him? Just being around him, what sort of things have you obviously you've been watching him? Is there any particular skills that you've been gaining, or his particular the way he works, he stretches, he does? Is there anything that you've gained from being around him?
Uh, a lot of actually like all that really, but for sure like certain tricks that he used in there, I use in my game now, and like feints, and also he was just really good at a lot of areas of the game. His inside, his work rate, uh, conditioning, and I learned a lot from him really. But
The overall game. Yeah. How about
yeah,
Canelo?
yeah,
Did you see Canelo in the gym?
yeah. I saw Canelo in there.
How was he
That
training?
was just to see the champ like that in there training, seeing how he works, and that was a blessing. Just seeing the champ.
Just seeing someone who's up there, right? Who's
Yeah, he was at the time he was the champ. He was getting ready for Bivol. It was before his fight, so he was. It was really cool to see. It really just motivated me a lot.
good man. And he's got a big fight coming up now in September against Golovkin. How do you reckon that fight ends up?
I got Canelo. I think Canelo is just keeps improving. I think he's a lot better than he was last time he fought him. But Golovkin, is always dangerous. He's got that power.
Hmm.
He did look pretty good his last fight. At least he looked in pretty good shape to me. Because his fights before that, he was looking kind of not as good as he usually does.
Hmm.
But I personally got Canelo. I think he wins by decision.
Yeah, yeah, I think Golovkin's never been stopped, has he? He's a hard man to stop. He's taken some
Yeah,
clean punches and licks or whatever, and he's come back for it. But he's 40 years old now, so against a prime Canelo, who's at his prime, it'd be interesting. It'd be
yeah,
interesting fight.
I agree. I was like, I don't know, he might be able to stop him. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I still have faith in Golovkin's chin. He looks pretty good.
He does know. So going back to yourself, Austin, what's the future in store for you, man? You obviously with Share Sports.
Yeah.
They're looking after your career, which they're doing a great job so far. What have you set out a plan for what you want to achieve in the next 6, 12, 18 months?
Really, I'm just taking it a fight at a time. I'm not really trying to look ahead too much, get carried away. But this next fight is gonna be really important. I just gotta make sure I go out there and be myself and just show my true arsenal. Show everything, show what I can do, and hopefully get signed by Top Rank, and go from there really.
The sky's
But
the oyster, man.
yeah, I'm hoping to stay a little bit more active for sure this year. Hopefully, get a couple more fights, at least. Hopefully like three more fights or so.
3 more fights. Amazing, man. Well, we all look forward to your progress, man. We'll be watching closely. Is there anything that you want to say before we leave to your fans and people watching this interview?
Um, just keep an eye out for me. Make you follow my career. Appreciate all the support already. Thank you for having me on. Follow me on Instagram, one Austin Brooks. Check me out.
Certainly will, Austin. Austin, thank you very much for your time, brother. I appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you fight, hopefully on the 20th of August, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye out for August 20th in San Diego. I think I'll be able to fight on that card, so I should be on there. So keep an eye out.
Will do. All right,
Hey,
guys. Thank you very much, Austin. Yeah, you take care. I'll speak to you soon.
all right.